Hello gardeners, I'm Joe Gadbois, one of the managers here at Greenland Garden Centre, and today we're looking at our top 10 houseplants for air purification. All right, so coming in at number 10, we've got snake plant. Always very popular. This is one of the absolute easiest houseplants to grow. This guy will tolerate low light, doesn't need a lot of water. The easiest way to kill it is to overwater. It'll grow just about anywhere, likes to be root bound. You can get these guys in many different color patterns as well as dwarf bird's nest forms. They're not always these tall, skinny guys, and great for purifying your air on top of being easy to grow and attractive. So that's the snake plant. Number 9, we have peace lily. Classic house plant. This guy blooms almost non-stop. Produces these nice white flowers, which are sometimes sweetly scented. Easy to grow, kind of the opposite of the snake plant where it likes to be consistently moist. But the nice thing is it lets you know when it needs water. The leaves wilt, give it water, and they come right back up. So keep this guy consistently moist. Also grows in low light, doesn't need a heck of a lot of light. Very, very simple and great for air purification. Number 8. We have Dracaena. Now these guys, they come in a number of different sort of forms. A lot of your sort of classic houseplants belong to this group. So things like the dragon tree, which is what this guy is, the corn plant. A lot of the really popular old-fashioned houseplants are Dracaenas, and they're great for purifying air. Again, easy to grow, very simple, bright indirect light. Allow the soil to dry partially between waterings. Common thing with these is you get the brown leaf tips. That's when they've dried out too much. So don't let them dry out so much and you won't see as much of that. Otherwise, very simple to grow. Number 7, we have ferns. There are many different types of ferns and they're one of the best plants for low light areas. They do appreciate higher humidity. So they're great for like a bathroom. If you have a window in your bathroom, they really love that sort of environment. If your house is dry in the winter, mist them on a daily basis and they'll thank you for it. Keep the soil moist at all times. These guys, if they dry out, the fronds turn brown on you and get brown tips. So do not let them dry out. Other than that, very simple and great for keeping that fresh air in your home and filtering out any nasty impurities. Coming in at number 6, we have Chinese evergreen, another classic. This plant is one of the absolute most beautiful foliage plants you can grow in the home. You can get them in many different color forms. Some of them are splashed with pink. Some of them are splashed in sort of silvery green like this guy. Lots of different ones available. Very easy to grow. Again, they love lower light. So great for people who don't have super bright windows. You can grow them just about anywhere without too much light, and they like to be grown on the dry side. So again, very forgiving, unlike the ferns, as far as drying out. You can let these guys dry out and they'll be totally fine. Be sure not to overwater, however, because you will get rot if you do that. At number 5, we have palms. Now this is a baby areca palm. Obviously palms, as they get older, grow into good-sized trees. There's many different types. In general, these guys do appreciate higher humidity and bright indirect light. If, again, you have lower light during the winter, misting them on a daily basis is beneficial. You will get brown tips on the foliage if the humidity is low and if they dry out too much. So they like to dry out slightly between waterings, but they don't like to be dry for extended periods of time. So keep the soil evenly moist, but not wet. At number 4, we have the philodendron. Now, philodendrons can be trailing, hanging plants like this guy. This is called Brazil. They can also be more upright, sort of clumping plants. Beautiful foliage on them. You can get many different types that have different patterns and colors of foliage. These guys like to have bright but indirect light, and they like to dry out slightly between waterings. They do not like to be wet. They'll rot if they're too wet, but they also don't like to be bone dry for a long time. So just let the top couple inches of soil dry out between watering, and you'll be just fine with those guys. At number 3, we have Pothos. Similar to the Philodendron, you can see you can get very bright, beautiful colors like this one, which is called Neon. This is one of the absolute easiest houseplants to grow. It'll grow in low light, low humidity, tolerates underwatering very well, so you can let it dry out and it will just keep coming back for more. Do not overwater this guy, again, because it will rot if it's too wet. So err on the dry side for the most part, but it is a pretty carefree plant, and again, great for purifying the air. At number 2, we have English ivy. Another trailing plant, great for in hanging baskets. It'll also climb if it has a support. Classic house plant, simple care. It'll tolerate lower light, prefers bright indirect light, doesn't like hot sun. Let it dry out a bit between waterings. Don't let it completely dry out, and never overwater it. Wet soil will rot this guy out as well. And at number 1, spider plant. People have been growing this as a favorite house plant for generations, and for good reason. Very easy to grow, and it has always been well known as one of the best plants for purifying the air in your home. Carefree plant that tolerates lower light, prefers bright indirect light. The soil should dry out slightly between waterings. These ones, again, very commonly get the brown leaf tips, which can be from drying out too much, from low humidity, and from excess salt in the water. So be sure to flush the soil out with pure water, such as rainwater or reverse osmosis water once in a while to leach those salts out. But very simple to grow, great in hanging baskets, on pedestals. You can get them in different leaf forms, but they are all really nice plants and tough to kill, honestly. So that is our list of the top 10 best houseplants for air purification in your home. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more great videos on gardening and lifestyle. Check out our website at greenlandgarden.com for some of the best information on gardening on the prairies, and like us on Facebook to see the latest at what's happening here at Greenland Garden Centre. I'm Joe Gadbois.